pictures that the story may have. Why do authors put pictures in their story? In order to give us what? They give us more information about it. That's right. Okay, what else can we do? Look for repeated words or phrases. Like I said earlier, if we're reading a story about a dog, right? Or we read a story and I'm seeing the word dog, 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 dog. It's repeated like 5 or 6 times or even more. Chances are, this story's mostly going to be about a what? A dog. It's mostly going to be about a dog. All right, what's the third thing I can do?
You can first and last sentences, read it.
Reread the first and last sentence. A lot of the times, not always, but the author will put the main idea will be the same as their topic sentence. So it'll be at the beginning of the story or at the end of the passage and their conclusion, okay? So it's always helpful to go back and reread the first and the last sentence. Okay, do we name all 4? Is there anything else? Anything we missed?
You missed the first one.
Oh, what is the first one then?
Look at the titles and headings.
Look at the titles and the heading. Chances are that there's going to be some sort of clue. That's why we give stories a title anyway, right? To help the reader understand what else we're going to talk about. So we talked about look at titles and headings. We talked about looking for repeated words or phrases. Remember we were talking about the dogs. Reread the first and last sentence and then go back and look at the pictures, okay? So I have given you guys a passage. So what's going to happen is I'm going to read the passage, this one to you, and you are going to follow along. What are you guys going to do?
Follow along.
And then you're going to listen to Mrs. Rogers, think to myself out loud, and utilize these steps in order to find the main idea. So this one, you're just watching me, right? So what are you doing? You're just what?
Watching.
You're just watching me. And then on the back, we have another passage that we will do together. And then we'll do one in our book on our own. Capiche? Okay. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to look at the title first. Preventing Cavities. This is what this is called. I'm going to start reading in 3, 2, 1. So make sure that you're following along with me, okay? There are many ways you can protect your teeth from cavities. When cavities form, they give a bacteria a place to hide while forming a clear coating on your teeth called plaque. A buildup of plaque can burn holes in your teeth, so it's important to prevent plaque from forming. Using fluoride toothpaste is a good way to prevent cavities. Fluoride is a chemical that hardens your tooth enamel and it makes it stronger or harder for acid to burn through your teeth. Some water bottling companies add fluoride to their waters, so their drinking water with fluoride in it will also help. Another way you can prevent cavities is to avoid sugary foods and chew sugar-free gum. Bacteria love sugar, and when you eat lots of sugar, they eat too. There are many ways to prevent cavities, but the best way is to brush your teeth for 2 minutes at least 2 times a day. Using fluoride toothpaste and a toothbrush, by doing this, you are making sure that you still have your teeth when you are older, and it will also give you something to smile about. So after I'm reading, what I'm going to do, slow down, okay? Just stay right there for a second. I need my friends to be at a voice level 1, please. Warning number 1, voice level 0. Shh. I'm going to sit and I'm going to really think about what I've read. And then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to utilize my 4 steps. So the first thing I said, I'm going to look at my title, right? The title is called Preventing Cavities. Preventing Cavities. The next step is I'm going to go through and I'm going to look for repeated words. I'm just going to go ahead and take my highlighter out. Remember, you're just going to watch me. There are many ways you can prevent your teeth from cavities. I saw the word cavities in the title. I'm also seeing it 1, 2, 3, 4. There are multiple times, at least 4, probably even more. I'm also seeing the word teeth multiple times. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight. So I'm seeing cavities. I'm seeing the word teeth. Okay, so let's move on to my next one. I'm going to reread the first and the last sentence. The first sentence, there are many ways you can protect your teeth from cavities. And the last say is, by doing this, you're making sure that you still have your teeth when you're older. And it gives you something to smile about. So even my first sentence right here has the word teeth and it has the word cavities in it. And it's talking about protecting your teeth, right? And then the last thing I'm going to do, number 4, I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at pictures. Look at your picture right here. I notice it even has a picture of toothpaste and a toothbrush. okay? That correlates with teeth, right? So I'm gonna take all my clues, I'm gonna think about them. I'm seeing teeth, I'm seeing cavities, there's a pictures of toothbrush. It has to be something from brushing your teeth. Well, in that first sentence and right here in the title, it talks about preventing cavities. So this whole passage, I'm gonna come to the conclusion that it's talking about many different ways that you can prevent your cavities. Would you guys agree with me? So let's go ahead and write that down. You can write it down too. Our main idea of this whole passage is there are, and I'll move it so you can see, many ways to protect your teeth from cavities. Here's mine if you need to see it. There are many ways to protect your teeth from cavities. Does that make sense? You guys see how I came to that conclusion by utilizing all my steps? Now, I can't just ever give an answer. We talked about this at the beginning, right? I always have to give myself what to back it up? I gotta give myself evidence. So notice that I'm utilizing this graphic organizer so I can organize my thoughts. I gotta find text evidence, details from whatever I read that supports my answer. So I'm looking for things that talk about how to protect our teeth from cavities, okay? If I go back through here and I look, I'm gonna look for specific examples. Right here, I see where it says, using fluoride toothpaste is a good way to prevent cavities. So I'm gonna highlight this, right? And you guys find it in yours, go ahead and highlight yours. You just watch me how you highlight it as well, okay?
You said highlight,
Using fluoride toothpaste is a good way to prevent cavities. And this sentence that I highlighted, this is my first details, my first piece of text evidence. So I'm gonna transfer my evidence and put it into my graphic organizer right here. So you guys can go ahead and highlight and you're gonna watch me put it in here, okay?
you want us to highlight the other stuff that you highlight?
You can highlight with me as well, but I want you to watch me do it first, okay? Because the next part we're gonna be doing together, you're gonna help me find more the details on the next passage. Using fluoride toothpaste is a good way to prevent cavities. Using fluoride toothpaste is a good way to prevent cavities, okay? Once I do that, Amina, you're gonna watch me. I'm gonna find another piece of evidence, okay? All right, so I have that one in here. I need another sentence that talks about what can I do to help my teeth not get cavities? Well, if I continue reading right here, it says bottled water companies add fluoride to their water. So drinking water with fluoride in it will also help. So another way that I can prevent myself from getting cavities is I can drink fluoride with water in it. And I'm pulling this right from the text. So drink water with fluoride. Notice that I'm going to find my evidence first, I highlight it, and then I put it in my graphic organizer. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I've already found two, so here in just a second I'm going to find another piece of information, and then I'll have all three. You keep writing. I'm going to look for my third piece of evidence, okay? Another way, oh, I just found a big clue word. Another way you can prevent cavities is to avoid sugary food and choose sugar-free gum. So I'm going to highlight that. That is definitely another piece of text evidence that tells me how I can prevent myself from getting cavities. So I'm going to take exactly what I've highlighted and I'm going to put it down here in this box, okay? Avoid sugary foods and chew sugar-free gum. Okay? See how I found it in here? put it in its home. Found it in here, put it in supporting detail 2. Found it in my text, highlighted it, and I put it into supporting detail number 3. You see down here where it says, another way you can prevent cavities is avoid sugary drinks and choose sugar off. So we're going to complete that sentence just like Miss Rogers did. And then we're going to put it in our box. Now remember, this is just a graphic organizer. It's kind of like an outline. So do we need to write in complete perfect sentences?
No.
No, and instead of writing things word for word in the text, what could we do? Can we make them shorter? Can we make what we transfer in here a little bit shorter?
Yes.
How can we do that? By what? What's it called? What? We can paraphrase, right? As long as it comes from the text, we can still paraphrase. We can take, if it's a really long sentence, put it in our own words and make it a little bit shorter, please. And if you don't get everything written in this first part, that's okay. We're going to do this next one together, Amina, but I just want you to understand how I highlight it, put it in my box. I'm going to highlight, put it in my box. Highlight and put it in here. Now, do you guys agree that all 3 of these are great examples in how we can prevent ourselves from getting cavities? You see where it is right here where Ms. Rogers highlighted? Another way you could prevent cavities is avoid sugary foods and choose sugar-free gum. Okay? Table 2, you're doing a very nice job being at a level 0 and working very hard. I appreciate that. Table 1 is nice and quiet as well. Table 3, you're doing a great job too, okay? If you forget what to do, it's always up on the screen. All right, Amina, finish writing down those last couple words and then we're gonna flip over. All right, I need a volunteer though. Who wants to read the next passage for me? Miss Kiera, I'm gonna have you read it, okay? Lucas, go ahead and turn your paper over, buddy, okay? All right, so this one we're gonna do together. So Miss Kiera is gonna read it, and then we're gonna work together to identify the different clues.
This too.
You've done this both? Okay, well, great. This should be a nice review for you then. All right, go ahead and flip yours over because Miss Kiera is gonna start reading. It's all right, Amina, go ahead and flip yours over, baby, okay?
Yeah.
All right, put your finger right here on the W and we're gonna follow along with her, okay? This is one just big paragraph. All right, we're ready when you are.
Water plays an important part in our lives and in our environment. It covers nearly 3/4 of the Earth's surface, and it is fun to play in. But it also needed for life. In fact, we cannot survive without water to drink. People also need water to wash, cook, and grow food. Every living thing needs water without it. Without it, plants and trees would not grow. Aquatic life would have nowhere to live, and animals would find their food in the water would have nothing to eat. Open Earth's atmosphere, water vapor cools and collects into clouds. When those clusters of dry particles stick together, they tumble back down to Earth as rain. Together, snow, hail, or sleet. Without water, the water cycle would not work, and we would not have
Precipitation. Do you guys know what precipitation is?
Like a source of
It's another word for rain. Precipitation is another word for rain, okay? On Earth, and you can start at the did.
Did you know that most of the world's population does not have access to clean water? We are very lucky to live in a country where clean water is available for us to drink. It is up to us to be responsible users for water we have on Earth.
Perfect. All right, our job is to do what? What are we going to try to find here? The what? Well, we're going to try to find the main idea. We have to figure out what the main idea is first. What's the first thing that we're going to do? Think about what?
Think about
Think about what? Well, let's think about what we've read for a second. Let's take a second to just soak it in, and then we're going to follow our steps along, okay? So what is step number 1? What are we going to do? Thank you. Look at titles and headings. So let's look at the titles and headings. What is our title here? What is it called, Lucas? The Wonders of Water. Remember that, Wonders of Water, okay? What's step 2? What are we going to do next? Miss Kara, what are we going to do next? Okay, what are we seeing over and over in this? What do you see a bunch? Let's highlight those words that we're seeing over and over. What do you see a bunch? Oh, I see water in the title. What else? Where else do we see water?
In the first word.
There's water here. Without water, ooh. Without it, plants should not grow. I'm seeing the word water vapors. Here's water in the water. If animals who find their food in the water would have nothing to eat, that's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm seeing water at least 8 times. Anybody else seeing it that many times? So if it's in the title and I'm seeing it 8 times, that's a pretty good clue. This is probably going to be something about water, right? Anything else? What could be our next step? We know we see water a lot. What else are we going to do? What's step number 3? Amina, can you tell me what should I do next? After I've looked for repeated words, what's the next thing that I'm going to do?
Look at first and last sentence.
We're going to reread the first and last sentence. Amina, could you read that first sentence for me?
I see it 9 times.
9 times?
Yeah.
Environment. So the first sentence says water plays an important part of our lives and our environment. Literally water again in the first part. And then the last sentence it says is up to us to be responsible users of water that we have on earth. So even the first and the last sentence talks about water. Water. Okay, do we have any pictures?
No.
There's a little graphic up here. What's happening? It's doing what in our picture?
Raining.
Rain is another form of what?
Source. I mean, water.
It's another form of water. Here's some other things I'm seeing. I'm seeing the word responsible. I'm seeing the word like survive. I'm seeing the word important. So what is that telling us about water? What do we think after all of those things? What do we think the main idea is? Lucas, you said you had an idea earlier. What is this passage mostly talking about after looking through all of our steps here? We know it has to do with water, but what is it talking about? What is this passage telling us about water? This whole thing is mostly about what? Level 0, please.
It's mostly about the cycle.
Not necessarily about the cycle, but how water is what to us?
How water is like important to us.
And how water is important to our what?
On Earth.
Earth and our what? What does it say in that first sentence?
Water.
Environment.
Our lives and our environment. We lucked out because, remember I said sometimes even that first sentence, the writer can do what? Put the main idea in the what? In the first sentence. So we kind of lucked out here. So what's our main idea? Let's write it down. Water plays an important part in our lives and our environment. It's mostly talking about how water plays an important part in our lives and our environment. Okay? All right, let me know when you've gotten that written down. And it's right here, it's in that first sentence. Good job. I'm going to give you about 20 more seconds to write it. If you don't get finished, I'm going to give my next step of directions and then you can finish it when I'm done talking, okay? quickly get a 1, 2, 3 eyes on me?
1, 2, eyes on you.
Okay, you just focus on me for just a second, okay? When I'm done talking, you can finish writing that down. Now we have our answer. What's the next step? We have to back it up with our what? With our supporting details. So here's what I'm going to have you do. For the next couple minutes on your own, I want you to see if you can find 3 things. Don't write them in your boxes yet, but we'll go over them. It's fine. See, on your own, if you can find 3 sentences that supports, that tells me how water is important to us and our environment. So we're looking for a sentence that tells us what? How water is what? Important to us. So find some evidence how water is important to us. Take your highlighters and once you find 3, and then we'll go over them here in just a minute, okay?